I need to tell you what happened. I'm Ethan. I'm 23. 2 months ago, I found out my girlfriend Chloe was planning to marry our best friend Liam. I saw everything on her phone. 6 months of messages, plans for their wedding, intimate texts, promises about their future together. And you know what the worst part is? I felt guilty for looking. I still do. I haven't told her I know. I haven't said anything to anyone. I'm still here, living with her, pretending everything is fine. Let me take you back to that night. Chloe was in the kitchen making pasta, my favorite kind. I could smell garlic starting to burn just a little. That smell is ruined for me now. It's the smell of when everything changed. Her phone was next to me on the bed. That morning, I'd actually told her I don't think couples should check each other's phones. I really meant it. Then Liam's name showed up on her screen. Just a text. Just his name, but something in me just had to look. The kitchen timer was going in the other room. Tick, tick, tick. So loud. I picked up her phone. The screen felt cold and smooth under my finger. I told myself I'd just glance at it, maybe check when the message came in or something. But the words were right there. I kept scrolling back, months and months of it. They weren't just flirting. They were making real plans. Moving in together, getting married, building a whole life. And this was happening right before she and I got together. The timer kept ticking in the kitchen. It felt like it was counting down to the end of my world. I tried to remember the first time Chloe told me I felt like home to her. I tried to find that girl in these messages. She wasn't there. If you're reading this and you know that sick, cold feeling in your stomach, please let me know I'm not alone. Tell me where you're from. I just need to know someone else understands. I put the phone back down. My hands were shaking. I had to walk back into the kitchen and look at her, but I couldn't really see her anymore. Everything felt narrow, like tunnel vision. She was smiling. She asked if I was hungry. She looked exactly like the girl who called me home, but all I could think about was her mouth saying those promises to him. I walked over and pretended to check on the sauce. Really, I was trying to see if I could catch the lie in her eyes. There was nothing. She looked perfect. I felt completely detached from my own body. That night, we went out to dinner with friends. I thought maybe I could get her to admit something. I brought up Liam. I tried to sound casual, like we were just talking about old friends. I asked her something simple. Didn't you two date a while back? I gave her an easy out. She could have just said yes. She could have told me part of the truth. But she didn't. She looked right at me and called him just a close friend. She said there was never anything romantic between them. Her voice didn't shake at all. It was a perfect lie. That burnt garlic smell from earlier flashed through my head. She was protecting the lie even when she didn't need to. I felt sick watching her do it so easily. When we got home, I went straight to the bathroom. I turned on the water and started washing my hands. I scrubbed and scrubbed. I wasn't even thinking about her betrayal anymore. I was thinking about the fact that I'd looked at her phone, that I'd crossed my own line. It felt like dirt on my skin. I felt more guilty about checking her phone than I felt hurt by her lying. The whole thing was poison, but my part felt like the worst thing I ever done. The timer was done. Everything was burned. Chloe noticed I was quiet. She came and sat next to me. She told me she loved me. She started talking about next year, maybe saving up for a house. She was saying the exact same things she had written to Liam, word for word. She had no idea she was doing it. The words didn't sound sweet anymore. They sounded empty, like something she just says to whoever happens to be standing there. She hugged me and I felt nothing but cold. She kept talking about the future, and it just kept proving to me that she can lie about anything to anyone. Now, when Chloe and Liam are in the same room, I just watch them. They'll look at each other for a second, or one of them will text while we're all hanging out. It doesn't matter if it's innocent. I see it as a secret. I see it as them communicating in code. The texts I read put a shadow over everything now. I keep playing back that first time she called me home, trying to believe it was real. But everything she does with Liam feels like it has a hidden meaning. I'm living inside a movie I didn't want to watch. I'm getting paranoid. I was cleaning up files on my computer and I found something I'd forgotten about. A saved picture of a ring. I was going to buy it. I was planning to ask Chloe to marry me. I just stared at it on the screen. The whole idea felt ridiculous now, like a sick joke. I'd been planning a proposal while she was planning a better life with him. That phrase, better life, was right there in her texts. The timer ran out months ago. Everything we built is fake. I didn't delete the picture of the ring. I just moved it to a hidden folder. I can't look at it. I couldn't just ask her about the texts. I was too scared. So I tried to make her crack. I picked a stupid fight about something small, like socks on the floor. I was yelling, hoping the pressure would make her break and confess about Liam. I needed her to say it first, not me. But she didn't get angry. She stayed calm. She apologized and completely shut down the fight. It was impressive how well she controlled it. I felt like a crazy person screaming about socks. The timer kept ticking in my head. I realized I can't force the truth out of her. A few nights later, I had to look again. Chloe was asleep next to me. I got out of bed carefully. I found her phone and went back to those old messages. I read the most personal parts again. The intimate texts, the promises to him. I was looking for proof it wasn't real, looking for a sign that maybe it was all a joke, that my relationship with her where she called me home was the real one. It was stupid. I just kept scrolling, making myself hurt again. I couldn't stop. It's like I needed the pain to prove that what I saw on that cold screen was actually real.
The next morning, we sat at the table for breakfast. Complete silence. Just the sound of our forks. My secret felt like a physical weight sitting between us. I couldn't look at her. I stared at my food. The timer felt like it was still counting down from that first night. Chloe broke the silence. She asked if I was okay, if I was tired. I told her I was tired. I lied. It's the only thing I can do now. The secret isn't just killing me, it's killing our normal life too. Then Chloe said she'd set up a double date with Liam and his new partner. I felt panic in my throat. I couldn't say no without looking like a jerk. So I had to say yes. Now I have to sit across from him and pretend to be happy. Hold Chloe's hand, look him in the eye and act like I never saw those messages on her phone. I'm scared I'll mess up, or that the lie is somehow visible on my face. This is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. I have to perform being a boyfriend. We sat there at dinner. I was talking, laughing too loud, trying to act normal. Liam was across from me. Chloe put her hand on mine. It should have been sweet. a sign of love. But when she touched me, all I felt was the heavy weight of the lie. I felt the memory of that cold phone screen right between our hands. I tried to squeeze back, to make it feel real, but I couldn't. I couldn't return the pressure. Her touch used to make me feel like I was finally home. Now it felt wrong. I wanted to pull away. I hated that I knew. Later, Liam was talking about his life. He mentioned a rough time he went through, a bad breakup a while back that broke his heart. I listened to him describe it, and I realized he was talking about Chloe. He thinks their relationship was serious and painful when it ended. I could see the truth in his eyes. He has no idea Chloe told me they were just close friends. It confirmed everything. Chloe didn't just lie about the texts. She lied about how deeply she hurt him too. She built this whole fake story. I was stuck between two versions of the truth. That night, I had to say something. I sat at my laptop and started writing an email to Chloe. I wrote everything. The night I checked her phone, the things I saw on that cold screen, all the promises she made to Liam. I wrote about my guilt and my hurt. I told her how much I missed feeling like I was home with her. I wrote maybe 3 paragraphs. My heart was pounding. This was it. No going back. My finger was over the send button. But then I deleted it all. Every word. I couldn't press send. I couldn't face what would happen. The silence felt safer than the truth. I had a nightmare last week. I was standing over a coffin. I was scared to look inside. When I finally opened it, there wasn't a person in there. It was our relationship. It looked exactly like it did before I found out. But I knew it was dead. Quiet. Frozen. I woke up sweating, heart racing. I realized my own brain knows the truth I won't say out loud. My mind knows we're not going to buy a ring or have a future together. That was the real betrayal. The silence might feel safe, but it's just the sound of something dying. Chloe was talking about Liam's new relationship. She said how much she liked his new partner, how happy she was for them. Then she said something that made me freeze. She said she'll always be there for Liam like a sister. I heard the word sister, but all I could see were those texts about marriage and their future. It felt like she was mocking me, even though I know she wasn't trying to. It was the cruelest thing. Every innocent word she says about Liam sounds twisted now. She uses friendship like a shield to hide the huge lie.
I was looking through old photos on her tablet. I wasn't snooping this time, it was just sitting there. I found an old photo of her and Liam. Blurry, but clear enough. They were standing really close. I checked the date. It matched. It was the exact night at one of those intense conversations I'd read about on her phone. It was like finding the last piece of the puzzle. Physical proof. They were together, making promises, while she was building this fake life with me. Now I have a picture of the betrayal too. I was driving home from work a few days ago, stuck in traffic. I was alone, just me and the radio. The pressure felt so heavy I thought my chest would crack. I wanted to scream the truth out loud. I opened my mouth and let out a scream, but no sound came. A full, silent scream. I pushed everything out. The betrayal, the guilt over touching her phone, the fear about our future, all the broken promises. But nothing came out except air. I couldn't say it even when no one was there to hear it. It was a complete breakdown. And the silence was the worst part. I decided to try one more time. I had to know if she'd tell me on her own. I sat her down. I tried to sound gentle. I asked her, "Is there anything you haven't told me? Anything important about your past that I should know?" I looked right into her eyes. I was silently begging her to just say sorry. I gave her the chance. She held my gaze, didn't even blink. She said, "No, nothing at all." Just like that. The lie was her final choice. That was the moment I realized I was completely alone in the truth. She sealed my isolation, left me stuck with the betrayal and my guilt overseeing it. I was cleaning out a drawer and found a note I'd written to Chloe weeks ago. It was about a trip we were planning for next year. I'd written down dates, places, things we were excited about. It looked so real when I wrote it. Now it just looks silly, faded, a fake plan. It's nothing against the huge betrayal I know about. That future I thought was real is just dust. The note is a lie, just like her promises to me. It made me feel cold and empty. There's nothing left to hope for. All my plans for a better life with her are worthless. I finally had a clear thought, a terrible kind of clarity. I kept feeling guilty because I checked her phone, but I realized guilt doesn't matter. My breaking of a rule doesn't change the huge lie she's living. Her lie is the bigger wrong. By staying silent, I'm helping her keep the lie alive. I'm living the lie too. I was punishing myself for looking at her phone by accepting the pain. But now I know the real wrong is staying in this fake relationship. I have to find a way out of the silence, or it will destroy me completely. I see the door now. I thought about calling Liam. Not to yell or fight, just to ask him. To ask if he knew Chloe was lying to me too. If he knew all those plans they made were happening while she was with me. I pulled out my phone. I looked at the screen. I tapped the call button. I watched it dial. 1 second, 2 seconds. Then I hung up. I deleted the call and blocked his number. I couldn't risk him talking to Chloe before I did. I was so desperate for some outside truth. But I went back into the silence. I decided I had to finally speak. I wrote a letter. I put down everything I knew. Every hurtful line from the texts, every broken promise. I didn't want to yell. I just wanted the truth to be heard. I wrote it all down. I planned to read it to her at dinner. I folded the paper carefully and put it in my jeans pocket. I knew this was my only chance to save myself from the silence. Holding that letter, I felt the weight of the entire relationship. The good, the bad, and the horrible betrayal on that phone screen. Tonight, the kitchen timer wouldn't just be timing the food, it would be timing our end. I walked into the kitchen. She was making my favorite pasta again, just like that first night. The smell of cooking onions was heavy. That smell used to mean comfort, being home. Now it just smells like the start of a lie, mixed with that faint burnt garlic I remember from the night I read her phone. It's ruined everything. The kitchen timer was on the counter, ticking. Every second felt like a drumbeat, counting down to when I'd pull out that letter. She was humming, completely normal. I saw her hand, the one that held the phone, chopping vegetables. I couldn't believe how easily she lives this lie. We sat down at the table. I could feel the letter folded in my pocket. It felt so heavy, like carrying a brick. Chloe was talking happily about plans for our new apartment, about a better life. She looked genuinely excited, happy. I thought about the way she looked at me when she first called me home. I reached into my pocket for the letter, ready to pull it out and read the whole truth. But looking at her innocent face, I couldn't do it. The thought of destroying that moment, of causing that pain, was too much. I pulled my hand out empty. I looked at her face again, saw her innocent smile, and I knew what would happen if I read the letter. She would deny it, we would fight, it would be messy and loud. I'd lose the little bit of peace I had left. I realized I'm not strong enough to start that war. I needed silence more than I needed the truth. So under the table, away from her eyes, I pulled the letter out. I took the lighter from my other pocket. I set the corner of the paper on fire. I watched the truth I wrote turn into ash. I chose to take the secret to my grave. I chose to keep the lie. That was the end. After dinner, we went to the couch. Everything was calm. Too calm. She leaned into me. I put my arm around her. I felt like I was acting in a play. I looked at her and I told her, "I love you." The words felt completely hollow, like they belonged to the girl who used to call me home, but not the stranger next to me. I chose to stay with her, but the truth I saw on her phone had already separated us. The relationship is just functional now. We're together in the same room, but we're living separate lives. We're finished, but only I know it. I couldn't live with the lie, but I couldn't break the silence face to face. I realized I could tell the truth without having to deal with Chloe's denial. So I took my phone. I sent a final text to Liam's new partner. It was simple. It just said, "Check your partner's old texts." Then I immediately blocked them. I blocked Liam too. I wasn't brave enough to fight the battle, but I couldn't let Chloe's lie stay safe either. I released the truth into the world without my name on it. It's an awful thing to do, but it felt like the only way to hold her accountable without destroying my own peace entirely. It's been months now. We still live here. We still share the bills. We act like a couple in public, but here we're just polite roommates. She sleeps next to me every night. I look at her face while she's asleep. She looks like a stranger I know everything about. I know the full history of the texts, the promises for a better life she made to someone else, the lies she tells me. The silence won. I couldn't let her secret destroy me, so I let the silence destroy the relationship. We're perfectly fine on the surface, but the love is dead. That's how it ends. If you've been reading all this time, thank you. This whole story reached you. Tell me what city you're from. Just knowing this is out there, that it's not just in my head, helps me carry the weight of this silence.